Hello techies. Welcome to our brand new video series focused on helping you get the most of your experiences in life. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
So this is the core connector that we created yesterday. And we called it WWCCW, New Hires Outbound. And we had run this integration. We had created the output as an XML file. We went through that in our yesterday's session. Now, if you review that file, if you see that this was our output file, let me just make it a little bit up. If you look at this output file, so between this worker and this end worker tag, you had all the information about a particular worker. For example, Logan McTeal. You had all the information about this worker between this worker tags. Now look at the gender field. The gender says female. And similarly, if you look at the next worker, which is Steve Morgan, the gender is male. So what if, instead of female and male, we want the values to be F and M, and so on? Right. So very easily we will be able to map these values into something else. Right. So that's what we are going to do first. So we are going to map these values. And we are going to see that how easily we are going to get some alternate values. So we'll go back to our integration. Okay. And you see, there is something called as integration maps. In integration maps, there are certain fields for which we can map it to something else. Right? We can take the values in Workday, and we can have a corresponding mapping to a different value. So field like let me scroll from the top field like gender. This is what we are going to do. Marital status, religious visibility, ethnicity, citizenship status, military service status. Right. These are some of the fields that can be mapped. National, IED type. Government IED type. Visa, passport, custom, IED right. These are some of the values that can be mapped to an alternate value. Why not first name or last name? Why can't we map those fields into different parameters? Any idea? I can't give any default value. Yeah, they don't have any default values. Number 1 and number 2 is the field that you see here in the map. They have a predefined set of values. For example, gender. There are only a predefined set of genders. Marital status. There are only a handful of marital status. Correct. Based on the country and based on the local laws. But what about, let's say, the first name? Are there only a fixed number of first names? No, right, there can be any. I mean, the first name can be anything. There are hundreds and thousands of different combinations possible for the first name, so it is not possible to map those values into something. On the other hand, if it is just alike the first name or the last, if it's a gender or marital status, it is in ship type. Those things are predefined. Okay, so we can map it to something else. So let me show you how to map it. So let's say, instead of female we want F, and for male we want M. Okay, so let's go there, and we go to Integration System, Configure Integration Maps. OK, click on that. And we have to scroll down till we find the value for gender right, the map that you want. So you click on Add Row, and there you select the value. So you have 3 possible options for gender: female, male, and not declared. So choose female and choose the alternate output that you want. So let's say in the output, you want it as F. Now, if you are doing for one value, remember that you have to do for all the others as well. Otherwise, if for some worker, if it is let's say if it is M and you have, if it is male, and you have not defined that in the mapping, then it will not work. It will give you an error, right? So, and then let's do it for the other worker as well for the other type. So it is not declared. And for not declared, let's put it as NE. Right. So this is how we do the mapping. Now let's run this integration one more time. So I go to the related actions. We go to integration and launch. And we will see a very interesting thing here. Yesterday we launched this integration once. Now, if you look at it, the as of entry moment and the effective date, they are today's date. But what about the last successful as of entry moment? What is the welcome problem? There yesterday, because that is when we last launched the integration successfully, right? So you see, it automatically populates to yesterday's date and the yesterday's time. This was the time and date that we last launched the integration. Now I don't think we had a lot of workers who are hired between these two dates, but anyway, let's give it a try. Right, let's give it a try. Let's see if we get any workers. But if there are no changes in the system between these two dates, then what will happen? The output will be 0 workers. So let's find out how many workers were there. Okay, so we'll look at the messages. Alright, so it is doing something. Still nothing in the messages. Alright, okay, just for your information. The Core Connector worker uses the get workers who have web service to get all the information. So it is get workers, right? Just like we had the hire employee web service that we use for our EIB. So this Core Connector worker, or CCW, uses the get workers web service to get the worker information from working. Right. This is what it has. This is how it does it. It uses the get workers web service. Okay, let's see if it is. Oh, we have a message. 356 workers, okay. So somebody changed all those workers, is it? Between yesterday and today. So then, oh, only data audit for 6 workers with data changes. So there were 356 workers that it is looking for in the eligibility criteria. And only 6 workers had data changes. That's awesome. That means our change detection is working, and if I look at the messages, you see it created the output document for 6 workers. But I don't know if any of those workers will have a gender or not. So let's look at the output files. So, since we have some changes, let's